And now let's understand the new product development process at companies. As you would imagine, new products are important to sustain growth and profits and to replace obsolete items. But the overall innovation initiative success rate is only 4.5%. That's pretty dismal. And that is why companies need to come up with a large number of new products. A company like Procter & Gamble, for example, launches on an average about 300 new products each year. But wait a minute, not all of those products are new to the world. Here are all the categories of new products that companies launch in a given financial year. As you can see, the biggest chunks are product line additions and improved and revised products, while new to the world products are only 10% of the total. So new products is not about radical innovation, but often incremental innovation as well. So what does a new product development process look like at companies? Here are all the various steps in a typical new product development process. And despite companies carefully following these steps, very few new products succeed. For each successful new product introduced, a company needs between 50 and 60 other new product ideas in the new product development process. And that is why the process looks like a funnel. A lot of new ideas enter at the top, but very few actually finally make it to commercialization. The first step is the new product idea generation. And companies try to get ideas from all fronts to illustrate the kinds of efforts companies spend in generating ideas. IBM once organized a new idea generation competition. And 350 employees, because of that, in that competition, 350,000 employees, channel partners, and their employees participated in an idea generation contest. The company, IBM, invested $100 million were to be awarded to the top 10 ideas, and all of the idea sponsors had the opportunity to join the idea team management at the company. And along with that, a financial reward was given to them. And you won't believe, because of that competition, in 72 hours flat, 3 days, IBM had 37,000 new product ideas. And finally, top 10 were given the development money. Another technique for idea generation is the brainstorming. In this technique, a fixed amount of time is given to participants, and they are asked to come up with as many ideas as possible. Quantity is more important than quality. No one is supposed to judge each other on their ideas, and combining ideas from others is also allowed. Brainstorming can be practiced with a variety of participants, such as employees, customers, channel partners, etc. After a company gets a large variety of product ideas, it needs to screen them and arrive at a manageable list. And both qualitative and quantitative factors are used for screening out not so good ideas. An example of a qualitative idea screening technique could be how Corning Glass, you might have heard of the name of the company, Corning, that makes glass products. Corning Glass only wants to sell glass-related products and does not want to make anything that is not glass. That's part of Corning's mission statement as a company. Similarly, a quantitative screening method could be that the expected growth in the general product category should be at least a certain percentage points, say 20%. The next step is that of concept testing. In this stage, the short list of ideas which went past initial screening are put to test with the prospective customers. Customers are described the product idea in detail and ask the simple question as to whether or not they will buy such a product if made available. The level of detail given in concept testing varies. Some descriptions can be up to even 2 pages long. So here is a typical example of a concept test. a picture, a narrative of the proposed product idea, and finally a question asking whether or not customers will buy such a product. One thing is worth mentioning here. Do you notice that no major investment has been made in the proposed new products so far by the company? Yes, all of these initial stages are a low investment, low risk phase in the product development process, and no serious investment is made until the actual development stage when a prototype of the product is developed. So the few ideas that pass the concept testing stage are then put to business analysis to figure out the real profitability that the company can expect from each of the proposed ideas. This will typically be the job of an interfunctional team, since a variety of expertise is needed for such a business analysis. Often companies such as General Electric lay down a certain minimum return on investment they expect from such a business analysis. 20% ROI expectation is quite common at this stage for making a go, no-go decision. So these kind of questions are asked during the business analysis stage. For example, what is the likely demand for the product? What impact would the new product have on total sales, profits, market share, and return on investment, for example? How would the introduction of a new product affect existing products? Would the new product cannibalize existing products? Things like that. Would current customers benefit from the product? Would the product enhance the image of the company's overall product mix? Would the new product affect current employees, such as hiring more people or reducing the size of the workforce, which will have an implication for the costs? What new facilities would be needed because of the proposed product, and those kind of things. How might competitors respond? What is the risk of failure? Is the company willing to take the risk? So projections of all such details are worked out by a multifunctional team of experts. And then comes the next stage, where the firm makes a significant investment into the new product for the first time. A prototype, or in other words, a working model of the product is created, and a comprehensive manufacturing and marketing strategy is developed. Prototypes come much more expensive, by the way, compared to the actual product that we see in the markets. To give you an idea, when an auto company like Ford Motors or General Motors, when it first develops a few prototypes, each piece costs the companies about $500,000 a piece, compared to the cars that we finally buy, which cost on an average about $25,000. Can you guess why prototypes are so expensive? Well, one of the primary reasons is the lack of economies of scale. The final products available to us are cheaper because millions of them are being manufactured at a time, which brings the cost per piece down significantly. But before the product is rolled out in the wider market internationally, or nationally even, not internationally, say in the US, companies usually test market their products. In other words, the product is launched at a much smaller scale in limited geographic markets. This is done to iron out any kinks in the plan and to ensure there are no surprises with the national launch. Now here is the key thing we need to know about good test markets in any country. The most important characteristic of a good test market is that the city or town or towns should very well represent the larger population of the country of final launch. It should be a microcosm of the overall country. That's a good test market, with very similar demographics such as level of education, ethnicities, age groups, diversity, rural-urban divide, density of population, buyer power in terms of their incomes, occupations, etc., etc. The test market, in other words, should be a mini USA in a way. So can you think of some good cities that would make ideal test markets for marketers, given the description I just gave you? I have heard many people say New York. Well, that is not true. Let's look at a document that lists countries' top test markets. So here's a document that's talking about Richmond, Virginia as one of the top 10 US markets. And it tries to give a reason why Richmond is a great test market. So if you roll down, you'll see the top 20 US test markets, and you have Albany, Rochester, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, Birmingham, Syracuse. These are countries. These cities are most representative of the US market as a whole. And you can roll down and you can see how that case is being made. And so here, the demographics of USA and Richmond, they are being compared. And you see here, gender, male, female, very close. USA 49, Richmond 48. USA 50, Richmond 51. Age groups, male, and you will see that they compare very closely. Female, again, they compare pretty closely, and so on. So Richmond actually looks like a very good test market, going by the comparisons in the demographic data that's being made. And let's roll down all the way. And here is a longer list of the best test markets. It's a list of 150 possible test markets. Actually, we have Grand Rapids here somewhere as well. It's at number 40. It's not such a bad test market after all. And one thing I would like to point out to you is in this list of 150 test markets, let's see which. You see, New York, we're talking about New York, it's dead last. 150 in a list of 150 cities. Other big cities, San Francisco, Tallahassee, Chicago, Miami, they're all not so good test markets because their profile overall is very different from the USA as a whole. And of course, the rankings can differ a little based on who conducts them, but you get an idea. The last stage in the process is that of commercialization, where full-scale product launch beyond the test markets is taken up. And for an average consumer product on the retail shelves, it can cost about $50 million to conduct a national launch. The whole machinery of manufacturing, inventorying, distribution, sales, advertising, etc. is undertaken with hopes that the new product will prove to be a successful one. So that was all about the new product development process as practiced by companies. But that doesn't mean the products launched by leading companies are all good and likely to be successful. Let's look at a few examples of products that didn't seem to make sense even to begin with and were quickly discontinued after launch. Yogurt by Cosmopolitan Magazine Publishers. Kitchen entrees by Colgate. No jokes, these are real products. Bottled water for pets. Breakfast mates with cereal, milk and spoon inside. Seems like a very good product, only that it wasn't meant for the refrigerated section. So the milk inside was warm at room temperature. Oops. And finally, disposable underwear by Bic, a company that makes disposable pens. So that was all in this chapter, a couple of key messages for you to think about. And here are the key terms that you should know. Take care and bye for now.